Let's switch this droll monotony up, shall we?
How so?
Why don't we alternate? Okay, so what's so bad about alternating? I mean, think about it. You're already knocking out the heavy-hitting stuff. Why can't I have some of the fun?
Because I don't feel like sharing the spotlight with someone like you.
So, you are simply being selfish. I get it. Truly I do. You're simply afraid of someone else changing the narrative to a pre-established recurring theme through a different kind of storytelling. Rather than you being the sole focus, you would be forced to share the spotlight, or God forbid, give it up entirely. Look, I'm not going to try and steal the show. I'm merely stating that while you go ahead and expose away, I'll sometimes chime in with my own thoughts on the matter, therefore making a more engaging discussion.
Seriously, I just don't think it's a good idea. And here's why. First and foremost, you're just an asshole.
What else?
That's it. I'll let you know when I have other items.
Now, we're going to share the spotlight. I am the agent, and I've made more contracts and deals than you've toddled off souls to their destinations. Time. 2. Switch. Up.
Alright, let's see what you've got. I'm bored anyways of the constant struggle between the mind and body, the ethereal distinguishability of mankind to strive for the best, only to have their minds wiped away into the dustbin of fear and regret. No repeats. If we're doing this, I'm in charge of the locations. Well, this is different.
Jack and Lawrence, Episode 3.
When the big hand moves forward.
To see the world through eyes as yet unopened to the truth. A simple suggestion here, a push in the slightly right direction there, and still the soul goes where it chooses. Though, not always to either there or your intended destination.
You seem out of sorts. Is it finally dawning on you that sometimes, when you play at the designer of the universe, you come into contact with things that, even in your own blighted way, you still don't understand the weighted movement of the feet and hands of time itself?
Go on.
I am merely stating that which is the most obvious. A ploy to undermine Isa is a ploy that will ultimately undermine yourself in the long run.
I have no words, but let's let the drama play out as it will. Where should we start?
That is for neither of us to decide. Ultimately, it is up to the entirety.
Wait. What?
Don't tell me that the agent itself hasn't heard of the entirety, the ultimate core of where all separate ideas by the same creator are connected. This isn't like you, agent, not like you at all. Could it be, for the first time since I've met you, that you're suddenly afraid of something much bigger than yourself? As if this whole concept of the world around us, the theoretical simulation, even if at its poorest level, is still something we cannot ourselves control? Were you to wipe aside the languishing praise and brush aside the fervent ego-boosting, you would simply acknowledge that everything has a place, a time, a continuum, a beginning, middle, and end. Though we represent but two aspects of a theology, myself representing a much more tangible aspect, while you are merely representative of potentially ill fortune should a person pass on, we are still real in this, our most present of situations.
I understand the finality of the banal attempts for all conscious beings to seek out a way to expand upon the limited amount of time they have left in this, or any other world, by any means available to them. I cannot fathom the deepest pity for they who give of themselves the pursuit of happiness and utmost glee at the most base and socially undesirable of acts, but I cannot also picture it being greater than I, or in some way, a pitiable imitation of the being I may or may not represent. Though it does bring a point of discourse that we, ourselves must cover.
Such as?
What of beings constructed in a technological way? What of their lives? Personal pursuits? Sense of identity in this, humanity's most foggy crossroads of self-identification?
Well, as for digital beings, I suppose that, in time, if the source of their ability to continue living is cut short, then they too might cease being active. But, if the source of their being is restored, then so too are they, putting technological constructs in a sort of attained immortality. But, eventually, all things must break down. Time is rather cruel with this aspect, so, we must render to the possibility of being a truer perception of a living deity itself. As all deities receive continued life force from worship, and everyone watches the passing and flow of time as though it were a physical river. Time itself must be a living being.
In a physical sense? Or more of a metaphysical?
It depends. Now, where the hell is our food? We ordered about 23 minutes ago. Why do you have dinosaur feet?
Hey, I've got my fashion, just as you have yours. Don't tell me that you never take that helmet off, right?
I guess you have a good point. We are technically slaves to the fashion industry, or rather, we are complacent to wear that which we find is the perfect balance between what we feel looks good and what fits to our liking.
You seem to have a good head on your shoulders. I don't know what Jack was worried about.
How long have you known him?
Let's see here. I moved to Frontwood in 2009, got a couple of modeling gigs in 2010, and I think I got Jack as my agent in 2013, and since then we've become fast friends. We actually share an apartment.
I just want to find a place close to the library where the rent's not too bad.
I think there are a few places close by my studio where the rent's controlled. I'll see what I can do about getting the price down a few hundred for you. The super of the place is a friend of mine, and he owes me a few favors for lending him a few of my more expensive pieces to decorate his office with.
What's so funny?
You just gave me an idea for an art piece.
Really? What material do you normally work with? That does bring up an interesting thought. If you would allow me the time to explain it a little?
Sure, I love discussing the theoretical and metaphysical. It does wonders to unclog the creative spout, from which greater works might sprout.
While it is never truly explained how or why the soul exists, I believe I have the answer.
Do tell.
The soul is the mind's backup plan for when we go poof be gone. In this soul we place all our memories and thoughts and feelings. Like for instance if I slap you in the eye. Your soul would most likely remember that event, and then promptly come back to haunt my ass.
Not fun.
However, aside from ghosts not passing over, since I am into the whole supernatural thing, I like to think about these things. Since the whole world obviously believes in a heaven and hell, in one form or another, then that must mean that such a place does exist.
But, what if the soul itself is a completely separate entity? Something while containing our thoughts, feelings, memories also has a mind of its own? Does that mean when we die, that we ourselves will cease to exist while a mirrored copy of ourselves continues onward with its own actions?
In this case, think of the soul as a spiritual clone of ourselves.
And if Daniel Brushbeard thought like that, then he'd probably outlaw souls altogether and America would go to hell.
However, I do have another theory on the matter altogether. What if our bodies, this will be just the stupidest thing you've ever heard. Bear with me, excluding our C.N.S or central nervous system, we're just exoskeletons? Like I said, it would be stupid.
Well, that was interesting. Jack said something about a combination? A series of moments within the context of the near-infinite randomness of existence itself, as a means and a way to dispel the form of an agent, or something like that to release your seemingly eternal cycle of reliving the same life over?
Yup. But we're at the library, and there's something I've got to research. Do you have an upcoming gallery to prepare for?
Yes! You have only yourselves to blame for reading this far into it. And that's how I'm going to win the competition. Although, I wonder what the acquisition leads to. It can't be treasure, or lost gold or anything of that caliber. It has to be something more. Something huge. Something amazing. Something. Preface: caffeine was involved. Copious amounts of caffeine. No fucks or apologies issued. You knew WTF was going to happen. Let's get something straight here. I fucking swear in my posts. WHO, the fuck are you? I am Captain Dino Butt. Preface: caffeine was involved.
copious amounts of caffeine. No fucks or apologies issued, you knew WTF was going to happen. Let's get something straight here, I fucking swear in my posts.
But why?
And I say to you this, my child, because the human language has over 1 trillion words in various dialects, each with their own unique needs and wants and kinks, and sometimes, the word is likes to do the butt stuff. Hard butt stuff with mims dressed as T-Rexes, each armed with 50 dildos and a corrode of broken glass, which must be instrumentally inserted into their nipples like a cross-dressing fuck king.
So, yeah, I swear. Right now?
Right now I'm about to lay some knowledge into your faces' heads, and in your mind anus, some infogies will bloom the might horny person into the wellspring net of yahoomispace.com. So, if you were expecting an intelligent and thoughtful, provoking stance on why longboats needed to be shipped into the email addresses of local midget villages, then you've made a wrong turn somewhere, because here is the motherfucking Mindsickles, where the contrast between intelligent and almighty what the fuck happens just as quickly as a dick-stabbing squirrel dressed as a honeybee setting fire to the orphanages of all of Christmas Day. Plus, straight coffee fucks with my head in magical ways. And yes, my friends, my followers, there will be days where madness spits in your face, nipples and your eye feet will run, screaming into the midnight forests of the dead soul deer, and nothing shall return.
You're on meth.
Except, a higher knowing of what you just read might become the stuff of legend. I say unto thee, I speak for the worms in the wood, and the woodwinds, and the woods that break wind, fart, and from that fart, know that you shall launch the moon Monday penis into the sky clouds and hamper the laundry of the infinite sadness. Wait, the fuck? I don't care about making sense. I just need to say something, anything, something that makes me feel like you follow me so that at one point or another, this Bob Ross of a painting of words will somehow inspire you to greater heights. Maybe, somehow, somewhere, the minds that crafted the internet, may one day venture to the outer net. And holy fuck, I'm looking up the outer net as soon as I finish writing this. Like, fuck me, that's an awesome idea. The inter, the intra, the outer, the through, the around, and the undernet. My God, mother of fuck Lord's God, what have I inspired? Nothing? Everything? Possibly something that may make the thought rapture of Seclusion Dick 5 turn vegan once more and solve the Dino crisis on infinite Earths. Well, that'd be a fucking amazing mashup, wouldn't it? I mean, to literally be there while the Super Stego shoots dick beams of ice and fury. That truly would be a frost job.
Am I being pranked?
I'm not going to be serious in the post. I don't wanna be. There's no need to be serious in a blog post all the time. Sometimes, you just need to say fuck it with the sanity, and go with the mental flow. After all, if there isn't a blog post out there that speaks to the psychological inner workings of the mind through abstract constructs, then you're just wasting the time of both the reader and the writer, for every step we take is another that someone else may one day too take. Maybe you two end up in a foot race of thoughts and ideas. Each step taken inspires you further along the road of life, and your souls become synced, tuned, like fine instruments to be played at such a level only those with the finest hearing can truly see where it leads. And I know for a fact that some people follow me because of the sometimes insane ramblings I post, and others for the intelligence aspect. Or maybe you read because I am just an interesting guy, I'll never know, really. I just want to entertain you, like the mind slug squirrels of Scout Troop 555 kidding. Just think of every non sequitur as an idea for a short story, something bottled up and shaken around for a little bit, and finally let loose. I've been wanting to get back into writing short stories for a while, get my thoughts out to the world, you know?
Seriously, get the fuck away from me.
Sinful bitch, you can't sleep. What the fuck's wrong with me? This thing is my periods. I'm too hyper, need to vent, need to do something, need to go nuts, and write something completely random and inconsiderate. How about Balance is a prick and no one likes him? Nah. That's something everything will not agree with. Told you I can't sleep. Got a lot of energy in me. What the fuck is wrong with me? Why don't I just drop off and hope for the best?
Well, I could do that, but then I would probably pass out with the strain of all this bomb going out of my head. Wow, that was more graphic than you needed, huh? Well, let's get this over with, shall we? First thing that's on my mind is the fact that I haven't been talking with that one gal that I was crushing on, then stooped for some reason. Weird about that thing, ain't it? Actually, that's been on my mind for a couple of days now. Maybe it's just me being me? But I would have thought that after forming a stupid pattern, I would have gotten stuck in it with chips and dip. But I guess I kinda mellowed myself out there a good long time. Justina, how I think I fell for you during the time that I did, but I told you my feelings, and you kindly rejected them, and then I got it in my thick head that you're just going to be a friend. That was cool with me. Can't. What? I don't know, maybe I was just tired of the whole rigmarole? Where I feel anger at Turnip, then I went on this long stupid rant about how I would part the heavens or some other crazy crap, something about Greek god of love or something. I don't really remember. But then I had another stupid thought came to mind. It was just a thought, mind you, so there's not really any intent behind it. I kinda well, totally entertained the daydream of that day in the positive office, where I told her that I loved her. This was before I met Kahasi, so there is no real harm in fanning the god flames about this. This might be one of those moments. Plus, I'm going to anyways. Whether I like it or not. Love you much, Kahasi. Anyways, I was in the positive office, and I asked her if I could kiss her and she said yes. Which led to, weirdly enough, a sex fantasy in the office. Which might have been really weird / awesome had it actually happened. Because I know that it might never happen, maybe it would him just getting all worked up over nothing. Maybe it's just the energy coursing through my veins at the moment, but in an case. What the fuck was that? Did I miss anything?
No, you didn't. All that happened was a slow and painful suicide of my ever-eternal soul, diving deep into the mental depravity of the shit-filled cistern of life and death, the void of which might have already been filled past the brim, and is currently overflowing onto the electrical grid of the chasms between any and all coherent thought that might have once passed between the now decayed and atrophied neurons of that fucking rambling, meth-addicted, undead piece of shit.
What the hell is a positive office? Hey, zombie. You suck.
And yet you paid for a booth ticket.
How does it feel to be out $400, a bottle of Jack Daniels, and 5 hours of your time? I'm not even mad. I'm an immortal being, and I was just burned by a fucking zombie.
It's only natural that the lowest form of undead can slip one by the agent of fire every once in a while. Hush, little baby. Don't say a word.
Dude, you're fucking creepy sometimes.
This is why we're friends.
Can I continue? Or does the audience have anything else to add to this precious family moment?
Go for it.
Yay. Oh, shit. You're back. Yes, though I'm back. Is a bit loose of a term. Where was I? You. We're talking about Kahasi and something called a positive office. Thank you. Wow, I'm just talking about this one thing, aren't I? I keep misspelling words. Yay, motherfuckers. Nope, didn't pronounce that word. Anyways, I think there was a point in my mind, at the day where I truly did want to just kiss Karina on the lips, but I'm kinda glad I didn't, and I am very happy to report that I am happy about being happy that it didn't happen. Or else I never would have met my love. Lol. Could it be that you're just a figment of my imagination, brought on by the inconclusive boredom I feel trying to figure out the combination that may or may not unlock vast amounts of treasure, or some kind of hidden relic from an ancient and long-dead civilization that will unlock my true power? Or is this merely the effect of the fur-bound bag of shrooms I ate shortly before going on that walk? As such, the contents of my mind, or at the very least, the subconscious, is slowly, but surely bleeding into my waking life. Or, it could be the moment, a moment, any moment, one of a possible unending number of which might unlock further insight into the tragedies of the past that I might now view as comedic or satirical in wit. No. You've merely driven yourself into a state of self-idolization through your job as a news anchor, and have chosen a path of deepest self-reflection as you overanalyze the situation for what it truly isn't, a hallucinogenic experience from which some inconclusive evidence might be attained. But rather than accept what your loving and endearing wife already knows, that this is merely a midlife crisis from which only you yourself can escape from. What? I mean, wow, I'm getting nervous over confessing something in a train? Congra to fucking Latins, people. You're witnessing the birth of something that's nervous from the get-go, a tiny nervous thing that likes coffee. A poodle? Guard dog? Bull? Red Bull. I like Red Bull. I think it kinda tastes like medicine and that's cool with me. This is bullshit. Where'd he go now? He did the thing again, didn't he? You motherfucker.
And so, Dip's quest for the combination continues, along with the gradual unraveling of his own mind. Meanwhile, Gabriel prepares for Lawrence's new art gallery for a chance meeting with both Jack and Lawrence. Lawrence, now having met Isa, has a deeper concern about the combination and the exact nature of Isa's theories, that everything might just be a cycle, forever repeating itself in a number of differing, but slight ways. Always remember, I am inevitable. To be continued.